Hey, fellow agents. This is Agent Smith. And if you can see it any moment now, there it goes. We are getting into a game called Kona. Let me go ahead and throw up that intro. Okay, so this is a bit of a survival horror, I do believe. I'm trying it out. Not the very first time that I messed with it. I got a little bit of a hang of it to see what I was getting into, to see whether it was something I'd be interested in doing, and it piqued my interest, so I'm going to go ahead and delete all forms of data on here and start clean from a fresh start. But we're basically a guy who's been brought to Canada, into Quebec, and are investigating a contact, I believe. We were contacted by somebody within the town to take care of some things, so we'll see how that goes either way. I try to skip most of the intro stuff before I did it on my own. Northern Quebec, October 1970.
Carl Faubert sought information for a living. That is to say that ever since he returned from Korea, after having served with the armed forces, he had been working as a private investigator in Montreal. William Hamilton, a rich industrialist, had gotten in touch with him regarding a simple vandalism issue. Nothing to write home about.
Simple.
Not worth hiring a private eye either, just so he can drive for hours on rough roads. But that's how it had always been.
Gotta put my microphone down low enough that it doesn't pick everything up. I have control. Alright, I'll keep going.
They had set up to meet at the general store.
Oh shit, pay attention.
His business. Well, actually, the entire village had William Hamilton's name written all over it.
I have a feeling that this can become ridiculously dangerous after time, but what I've fiddled with on it is actually pretty interesting on what they
bad, muddy, or snowed in, it was customary around these parts to close them off. But it was also customary to ignore those signs entirely and drive there anyway.
The rest stop. How often does a road need to be closed or require 2 picnic tables at this gate? Empty bottle. So there's a little bit of a survival aspect to it. You also have a bunch of different items. Like I've got a map that'll help me to find some of the things that I need to get to. There's properties and things like that on here, and a whole lot of extra stuff.
Ever diligent in his work, always carried his log on him, in which he scribbled down thoughts and leads alike during the course of his investigations.
A lot of it is in French, funny enough. Meeting at the general store tomorrow, 11 a.m. So, let's see if I can enter it. There we go. It's a case of vandalism. A son of a wealthy Chicago banker, Hamilton made his own gold rush in the north of Quebec, where he established a copper mine and helped his family's small fortune thrive. You can't make a fortune without breaking a few lives. Yeah, that sounded weird to me. That's the saying Hamilton lived by, or lives by, should I say. The expansion of his copper mine certainly did not help him make new friends. Hamilton is accusing the Cree people of attacking his estate, especially his luxurious hunting lodge somewhere north of Chibougamau. I'm gonna go with that. Yet another way to make friends. The Cree certainly do not hold him dear. His minds probably upset the Great Spirit. This vandalism case is definitely for me. It needs the eye of a professional. I'm meeting Hamilton at the general store, 1553. L'Orange. I keep on going to the wrong one. I gotta make sure I use these controls proper. So we got that. Because we go into this to see. There we go, and I don't have any more pages. We got a little bit of information. Carl Faubert is my character. From Montreal, a private detective. I had to guess. I guessed right. So I'm a private detective. It pays the bills along with my veteran pension from my time in Korea. Usually I'm hired to track unfaithful husbands, but divorces are expensive, so infidelities are scarce these days. William Hamilton hired me. He had a check and many promises, and I really wanted to leave Montreal and Lake Timapek. Adamipik. I don't know Canadian names. I'm sorry, Canada. And Lake Adamipik is the perfect place to get away. When you want to leave, you leave. And then William J. Hamilton from Chicago is a businessman, 55, rich industrialist, much hated and much loved. Anything that isn't his in the Manistan region, he wants. Buying is his only power. Hamilton has complained time and time again of being persecuted. Sometimes he'll say it's the people of Lake I'm going to trip this word every time. At Tamapek, sometimes the Cree people. Some would say he deserves it. When you exploit people, the least you can do is stay away from them. Let's see. Any more? No other biography pages. And I don't have any photos yet, so that's that. You also get
the Polaroid,
a camera.
Carl's long-standing and faithful ally, had seen his share of husbands caught red-handed cheating. There's always something out there waiting to be snapped away.
Lady was calling me Mr. Ian. Anyway, so you got a camera for interesting photos and stuff like that, like these pretty cool fucking totems. I don't know what they're all about. You keep your pictures. I only got about 60 rounds in this thing, and a flashlight. We also have, let me see if I can remember. Yep, triangle brings up all kinds of other stuff. We've got equipment, which is what we saw there. We've got consumables, which is my cigarettes. And we got our inventory, which right now is that empty bottle I found, 6 matches, and 29 photos because of the one I just took. But anyway, sorry. I get phone calls every freaking day when I'm doing stuff. I love the narrative on this and the stuff this guy gives.
Duplessis, in spite of his conservative agenda, did a good job in colonizing the rural north, which helped to reestablish the region as an integral part of the province of Quebec. The blue fleur-de-lis could be seen fluttering in the wind here and there, taunting the red Canadian flags on the other side of the province's boundaries.
Huh. Oh, nothing about Canadian history. There we go. We got some pincers and a few more fire starters to go in our inventory. I know you have a limitation too on how much stuff you can hold on to or carry, so. And this game has a mechanic for mental health, fire to keep warmth, and I think that's it. Might be one more. But either way, you got to maintain a few things. Manistan, it will be good. And they put everything is in French, as you can see. So we're in French Canada. In northern Quebec area, so they have to translate for us. Northern Quebec and its inexhaustible resources. The province of Quebec sits on an inexhaustible abundance of natural resources. Why not take advantage of this? Our valuable minerals could travel the world and reach places as far as Dallas, USA. Get involved and invest now. Quebec's economic might will be awakened. At the heart of the wilderness, the north is swarming with wolves, caribou, bears, partridges, foxes, snowy owls, and hordes of other majestic creatures that are every bit the equal of Africa's wildlife. We are the Africa of America. Come discover the north and experience a genuine white jungle. And the back page says the county of Maniston and its people wish to see you very soon. Put it all away. Same map. I wish these things had a little more information on them. Anyway, as the guy was saying, they lock this gate when there's bad weather
Hamilton never
coming.
mentioned a road blocking barrier. Why was it needed here in the back of Beyond? That would, however, be a mystery for another day. Carl had waited long enough for someone to come and raise it.
Seems unnecessary to have cut that at
Hamilton
two
is
places.
waiting for Carl in the general store. It was time for him to get down to business.
Back to business.
William Hamilton enjoyed a lavish country house built in the very heart of the northern forests, not too far from here.
See, so you got your map
The local
here.
populace
I'll try to
was
drive and look
divided
at the
when it
map.
came to the affluent
You can see I'm at the bottom
Some
there.
saw a wealthy philanthropist
I'll stay in the center of the road, Smith.
improving the region's economy. Others, an aging Englishman who would do anything
But I just need to
further
get
his
to-
fortunes. And those ones hated him enough to
Woo!
go on about
Okay.
scheming against
Put the map
him.
away.
Hamilton had recently acquired a few local businesses, but the last straw was the reopening of a mine, which gave rise to a wave of protests and threats from the Cree people. Given these circumstances, Carl reckoned that a good number of people must be feeling compelled to oppose Hamilton in one way or another. So far, only the
Won't let me step
industrialist's
out.
house had been a target, but soon enough, Carl thought, the target would become the man himself.
He wouldn't let me leave. I wanted to see what that pile of stuff was. I know we're not quite in survival mode yet, but... Boo boo ba doo boo boo. Yup. Fucking idiot, man. Driving down the middle of the road like that. Hello? A few hours later.
Carl needed to get out of there. The cold and the pain required urgent care.
This is a bit of a tutorial, this space. Played a little bit of this stuff just to get the feel for it. Kona. And then we have our opening. This is pretty much it. We're gonna be in this frozen fucking wasteland. Trying to survive. And solve whatever's going on in this world. This is nice. You have a full inventory with this I can withdraw items from. And put items in. So there's a fire starter already in there. So I can load that thing up when I can't carry stuff. Hopefully I won't lose my vehicle. Let's see if this guy's still
The
here.
driver had taken off.
Ah,
It was still best to check it out and leave nothing to chance. Carl needed help.
Isabel photo.
It was a small, locked box engraved with the letters W.H. Carl thought about taking it. Nothing was to be left to chance.
I'll pass out if I don't get myself set up. First aid kit.
This deep in the
I love
country,
this.
his last hope was to find an abandoned garage or a farm by the roadside. His life depended on it.
I can't. Carl's in bad shape. He needs to heal his wounds and warm up his body before going any further. The weather here is too bad. South Atamapec.
Complaining was not in Carl's nature. It would take more than light injuries to interrupt his investigation.
Inventory full. So I have everything I need to start a fire here. And it takes up my mental health and it takes up the heat, even though it's not so great here. When under stress, Carl is less accurate and runs shorter distances.
Even better than he had hoped. Carl Faubert had succeeded once more, and was now on his way to new adventures.
More matches, another fire starter, and I got chains, probably for my tires so I can get out of that snow. You can also start a fire in here. Every fire you go to gives you a nice save point too, which is kind of nice. Great visibility. Shame I can't take these rations. Rations de survie. Let's go check this tower and see if there's anything of value up here. Nothing. You can see everything, but it's not even a point because of how white out snowed it is. Let's see. We have consumables. First aid kit. There we go. Get our health up. Now I believe we should be good. Car stuck in the snowed gap. It will not move without help. Now we got chains on our tire. We should be good to go. Just get out of here. Not that it's much better with all this fucking white out. I can't even stop this car fast.
Carl was dying to stretch his legs, but he had to stay focused on the task at hand. Now wasn't a good time to wander about.
Every time I try to press B to get out of the car.
Still out there.
Manistan region.
Spread out on a few acres of untouched forest, bellowing caribou, everlasting snow, and undefiled lakes. The Manistan region was no tourist hub. It was said to have been populated for millennia by Cree people, and ever since the industrial era, by the metal mining industry.
There's a property. I passed one further back and a turnaround.
Carl's military training had made him a very punctual man.
Better.
Being late to his meeting with Hamilton was out of the question.
Alright, alright.
The truck was running on fumes. Good thing that the general store was close by.
Ooh, loading. Loading! When you come up to buildings and things like that, it has to pause a second to load in the area. Which is fine. It's kind of weird in my opinion, but that's alright. La chance. Alright, I'm gonna upload all of my wood, fire starters, most of my matches. I'll keep one of everything with me. Take one of the fire starters. And I guess one wood, technically. There we go. Just in case I need to do it.
The monks wouldn't surrender their divine nectar so easily. In all likelihood, they had to be switched on from inside the store.
Sounds familiar, it says. La Frais pasteurized milk.
A milkman had to drive by every week to fill the bottles. The fresh milk indicated a recent visit.
Pasteurisé. Pasteurisé. I have very little French skill.
Something fell to the bottom of the box.
It's like I turned the pumps on right there. And that's who I'm supposed to be meeting.
He had been killed. There was no need to be a detective to figure that out. But only a detective could have noticed that the killer had to have been very close. That the fatal blow had been given before the victim even realized.
It's one I'll keep. And then... wish I could get a thing closer on the hand. Jeez. This place is a mess. Step over his body and inspect
Carl
him.
felt a chill down his spine and had a terrifying realization.
And covered him up.
If Hamilton was dead, then who was going to pay him?
Yep, so now we got some information. Son of a wealthy businessman. An accident. I haven't been this shaken up since Korea. An abandoned car. Who was the driver in that other car? Whoever it was. They don't have a snowball's chance in hell if they intended to continue on foot. Besides, why did they leave so suddenly? Locked box. Would it be wrong to look inside? Surely I would find some clue as to who that reckless driver was. I'd still need to find the key, though. There's a lot of information to get, and I seem to have missed something in all of that. Cold mystery. Where is all the snow coming from? They say the fall is an unpredictable season, but this is something else. The client is dead. Everything's going wrong. Take this envelope.
What could be inside that envelope? Carl was taken aback. He knew this address. It was said to be the address of the P.O. box for the Canadian Secret Service.
Oh, that's in Ottawa. That's not even anywhere near us. Not in the mood to drink maple syrup.
An explosion suddenly occurred outside.
In the dark, it's recommended to use a flashlight or a lantern. If I can remember where all my shit is, I will. There we go. Electricity's turned off from the generator on the power line.
The note explained that the garage and the store couldn't be supplied with electricity at the same time.
A secretary would be a luxury in here. Wouldn't be luxury in here. Cash register instructions. To open a cash register, punch the price, 2 numbers minimum, press sale, turn the crank 2 times, and punch the machine if it doesn't work. Okay. I think this is the same flyer I saw earlier. Manistan, Quebec's Klondike. Quebec's Klondike. Northern Quebec's economy is booming. The north of jeez, these words. Chibougamau area's population will soon reach 30,000 souls, among which thousands of happy families will be prospering thanks to the hard labor of their fathers. who will be contributing valiantly in expanding Quebec's national wealth. Mines and hydroelectricity, hunting and fishing, the true Canadian dream. Turn it into your dream now, or your reality now. The mines, a sector in full expansion. Did you know that since 1960, Canada tripled the amount of resource royalties it collects? Did you know that the country's true source of richness is lying under your very feet at this very moment? The building of our schools and our hospitals depends on the minerals. Exploiting our resources, the road to our future. Kona, Afghanistan, people wish to see you very soon. Same ending they had on the other one. General store also serves as a post office for the locals. Anyway, let's go investigate this sound in the back.
Maintaining his composure, Carl recalled something from his military training. Wolves always stay away from populated areas. Wait, was it about bears? Carl was no electrician, but he could identify a wiring problem when he saw one. Carl was no electrician.
Yeah.
But he could identify a wiring problem when he saw one.
I love that they leave their tracks deep in the snow like this. Where are they trying to get to? There's a paper, torn paper. Let it be known.
Hate was in the air.
Ah, jeez.
Seems like some
This guy with this
barely
talking.
tolerated each other.
Let it be known, you're nothing more than a brigand, a robber, a garbage hoarder, a viper, a leech, a monster. You're holding a knife at my throat. Too bad for me, but... Nothing else? Or I can read it in French. Oh, it just ends. Okay. Je parle français un peu, but not enough to be able to do this stuff. What the fuck is this?
Carl was used to strange phenomena, but a chunk of ice like this, as if an iceberg came out of the ground, that was a first.
What the hell is that?
Prince? Carl found a surprise at every turn. Was the camera faulty, or was it a possible lead?
I don't know. Let's follow these wolf tracks, because that seems like a good idea. It's an outhouse. Someone took a shit right into a hole. It's like it should be. There's another one. Eastern Atamapec.
Carl felt that the store and its surroundings still held their secrets, and he didn't like to miss out.
Yep, more tracks. There's another one. I'll take a look at it. I know the tracks are going to be pointing forward because I can see that, but what is this?
Carl wondered what the hell could that thing be. It looked like a man.
No wolf could have done that.
In ice.
My eyes are
All
burning.
of a sudden, Carl felt like he was pulled inside a world of dreams, a cold, unknown dimension. Somehow, self-control was slipping from his grasp.
Oh, fuck, dude. Blue flame. Hopefully they're keeping me warm. For real warm. Mysterious journal,
To all
page 1.
appearances, this was a hunting log. Better yet, a war diary.
The beast enjoys long slumbers. Its sanctuary seems impregnable. Ice is everywhere. I need to exercise patience and wait for it to come out to think like a hunter. The beast often invades the settlements bordering the lake. It terrorizes the white people. They never see it coming, but they feel its presence, a cold dread grabbing at your innards. The beast excites the wolves, makes them more aggressive. One attacked me. I had to cut its throat. The blade digging into its flesh made it the sound of a taut wire. The beast is getting closer to the villagers. It moves at night, bringing heavy snow and strong gusts of wind along with it. I tracked it to no avail. I do not know the white man frozen in ice, but I do know this. It is the work of the beast. It attacks curdles. Its attacks. Too many S's. Its attacks curdle the blood of its victims. White men know nothing of this force of nature. I touched the ice imprisoning the white man. I saw things, but I do not understand them. It was as if the past and present were one, or as if I was a spider, and with my 8 eyes, I could see backwards and forwards simultaneously. This beast, this creature, is not of this world. I must find the beast again, and if necessary, eliminate it. I just keep following this trail. Spirit wolves. It's a dog tag.
What could these engraved
or necklace
numbers mean?
739.
A fresh path suddenly appeared before Carl.
I don't know why all the footprints are backwards. I mean, I guess I'm moving forward. What backward? Nope. Shouldn't be roaming around in this fucking forest like this. A horrible idea.
Carl had that feeling you get when you immerse your frozen
It's so
hands
bright.
in hot water. What happened? Now at least he knew who the unfortunate man petrified in ice was. Gilles Lachance, the general store's manager himself.
I know this information is probably written down in my journal, but I hate having to go back and forth through menus. 1551ER Ring. I think that's this road that I'm on. Gilles Lachance. Gilles Lachance. I cannot. Blah, 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 blah. That's what it is. Do you have anything of value?
Had to be the worst parking job ever.
How did I
Who was
miss
Carl
this?
to judge, though? It may be customary to park like that around these parts, or not.
It's literally right next to the general store. How did I miss this on my way in here? Anyway. I gotta figure out how to get those pumps on, figure out what's going on in here. Now all that ice is gone too.
It was so cold. Already Carl did not feel his toes
Oh
anymore.
no, there it is. Spoke too soon. There we go. Save, get warm, regain my sanity. And see what's in here. Looks like a car. The garage. Nothing. I don't have a key. I have pincers to break this lock. I don't know why I would need to, but I guess it'd make it a little bit easier going back and forth. Just gonna break it in or everywhere I go. Alright, they told me how I can get into the broken clock. How convenient. How to get into the register. Just said I needed to input a couple numbers. And then sail. Turn the crank. There we go. And that's a key I need. Boat's probably dead with the power out.
Carl knew that Gilles Lachance was in charge of the general store. That made him one of Hamilton's employees. A very angry employee, as Carl could plainly see.
Would that imply that he's the guy that... No, because that other guy that ran me off the road, or ran into me on the road. with somebody else. You know what, Hamilton? I have a frog in my throat, and when people have a frog in their throat, they do not take risks by going to work. Customers could catch it, right? I'm a wise man. Not to worry, I'll have a nice doctor's note, which I'm going out to get right now. Sadly, in the meantime, I'll have to close down the shop unless you would like to come fill in for me. I wouldn't dare advise you. After all, you must know how it's done, since it's yours now. With kind regards, your dedicated manager, Gilles. I'll turn the pump. No, that's right. No power. I can't turn the pump on from here. Close the register. Check these drawers. There we go. Got the key to the garage.
According to that log, it
Addresses.
seemed like the whole village owed some money to the general store. Carl was far more interested in the bunch of nearby addresses he had just gotten his hands on, though.
Like 1554. All these ones on Wunner Ring. Wunner Ring Road. All of those listings are on the same road I'm on. I'm gonna have to go back down the road I came up on and check out the two or three driveways I found. Huh. Alright. I got duct tape to fix that wire.
Carl was no electrician, but he could identify a wiring problem.
I don't have wires, wire cutters, whatever you want to call them for that. Just one moment. Try to refresh all my stuff real quick. My counters don't want to do their thing. Off on. There we go. Back in. Suppose I don't need this flashlight. Okay, now I need this flashlight. The cleanest spot in the area.
The crowbar was stuck under the lift. Notwithstanding Carl's imposing stature, car lifting wasn't part of his skill set yet.
Hardware. There we go. Pliers. More tools. Yeah, I'll turn that off. I'll get like copyrights in France for that. Alright, and then this is probably powered. There it is.
Staring
but of course,
at
no
the
power. I'm an
controls
idiot.
won't
Go
be
turn the
enough
power
to
on.
make that lift budge. The poor thing was out of power.
Open. Oh, I'm in the way. There you go. At least I'm staying decently warm. Let's fix these wires and switch it over to get whatever that crowbar is. It might come in handy. And switch the power line. Let's see, the main store, the garage. From the generator. There, we got light in here now. The power is on. Lift is up. Shame I can't find anything of value in the vehicle itself, but at least I got this crowbar out of it. I'm sure that'll come in handy.
At long last, the crowbar was within Carl's grasp. Surely it would come in handy at some point.
Like beating the shit out of wolves. Hey, I got more wood over here. Take a few more of these logs into my inventory so I have them in my truck when I need them. Feels like it's extra dark in here. Alright, we can't have them both on at the same time, they said. There we go. Turn the power back on it here.
Jumping from that height was akin to tempting death. Perhaps that man on the snowmobile had seen enough of this world already. A nice picture of the Magasin Lachance store, seemingly taken the day it was first opened. It feels frozen in time, from an era long forgotten. Amateur hunters showing some pride at having killed a nice pelted beast. With men like this roaming the area, wolves would become extinct within 10 years, Carl thought.
Bullshit. Fire starters. I could use a bunch of those. Place is still a mess. No thanks. I ate too much of these in Korea. You guys want MREs, man? Fucking food's food when you're in the wastes. In this frozen tundra we're in. And we got choice to be picky. No thanks, I prefer my beer cold. Move that out of the way. Oh yeah, my inventory's full, that's right. Let's turn on the pump and gas it up before I empty these logs and come back and try to get that health kit.
The snowstorm pummeled everything in its path. Carl was not surprised when he heard no tone.
Mysterious unbranded cans. Deposit all the logs. And extra fire starters. And the oops, I need one of those matches. Just in case. Where the fuck the matches go? Oh. Wrong one. There we go. Got plenty of stuff. Yeah. The mundanity of life. Still got to figure out what happened to the Hamilton.
To find the infuriated Gilles Lachance. Any good investigation would have to start there.
I did. I hope it's in my journal. Game is assuming I've jumped to conclusions. I mean, I would go off his address, 1555 Warner Rang, whatever that is. What was it? Oh yeah, med kit. Do I have anything of interest in my inventory? Documents. Post key. I got a post key. I got a bunch of other stuff here. All these notes I've found. There we go. Keys required to open. I thought I had a key for it, but apparently I don't. You would think I'd be able to. Oh, the post. The post is outside. Aha! They're talking about this post. Yes. Oh shit.
The murder weapon.
Okay.
What was that doing there, Carl wondered. Hamilton must have been determined to keep some information secret to post this key.
And to the box I found in the car that hit me.
Everything made sense now. Poor Hamilton's denunciation was interrupted, and he figured it would be best to lock everything up and send the key to his correspondent, who would receive the box later on. Clever, but not enough.
So letter from jeez.
Ordinary people playing spy.
Mm-hmm. Letter from Hamilton. It is As a citizen of Her Majesty and the free economic chambers of the world, that I must address that what follows to the proper authorities. The worst is happening at this very moment. I cannot write at length, but I am requesting immediate help for my country. I believe the free world is in grave danger. A member of my community, the Honorable, and then it doesn't continue. Lettre distingue? Alright, so we got a gun now, at least. And we need to figure out where 155 Warner Road is. There's really no addresses on any of these buildings. Doesn't exactly make it easy.
Lachance owned the general store. That is, before Hamilton got his hands on it.
The power line is down. That was why the power went out.
Carl was beginning to know the store and its surroundings like the back of his hand. The Seeker had sought.
Thanks. You get an achievement for that? I was just taking a look. Kinda back out now, that's what I need to do. And roll back a couple of properties. Unless it tells me narrative-wise that I shouldn't be going back this way. I have a feeling I need to go back this way, though. There is... Pull over so I can look at this map. There's going to be a entranceway, a loop on my right, and that might go to a home, and then a left and another left. These are places I passed on my way up here, but they wouldn't let me get out of the vehicle or even go near them. I must have missed the loop on the right. Did I? No. I, don't know how to flip directions when I'm looking at an arrow that's upside down. Just go in this guy's mail. I just wanted to read the address. A letter for Gilles. To Mr. Gilles Lachance in South Manistan. Dear Mr. Lachance, we have carefully taken note of your complaint regarding the collapse of... What the hell did I jump down there for? That's weird. The collapse of a natural cave on your property. However, given the absence of any actual damage or injury, we cannot move forward with this investigation. The natural cave cannot be considered a personal belonging. Furthermore, your claims regarding the landslides caused by the work in the new DW Incorporated mine seem outlandish, as the mine is miles away from your property. Also, it is imperative that you secure your property, as you would be held accountable for any injuries caused by the steep terrain. This is where Crying Wolf leads you. Sincerely, Pierre Valjean, Registrar Sûreté du Quebec. Wrong button. So this must be the address for the guy who owns the store. Makes sense. I mean, he should be the first house, or the house closest to the place, either a one way or the other. Loading. Every time you go up to a building, it's got to load it into the area. It's interesting how it does this. I'm surprised games even have load sequences. The whole point of it's kind of supposed to be open world, right? All right, let's get on out. Huh. Lachance's house.
The crossbow bolt stuck into the wooden stairs reminded Carl of the arrow that was said to have hit Achilles' heel. But who was the intended Achilles this time?
Why is it smoking? Need to look in my journal and see what entries have been added so I can understand this guy's train of thought. Holy shit. Got real blurry there for a second.
I wondered how long he would have to endure this skin-stinging cold.
Free logs. I suppose I don't need to store them if they're gonna consistently give them to me everywhere. You can resist it as long as I tell you to resist it. By which I mean, as soon as I get inside.
The air was freezing. right down to the bone.
I can't see anything either. Oh, good. Okay, there we go. I still can't really see. I don't even want to know what's going on over there. But I do need to turn this oven on before I freeze to death. There we go.
Looks like the holes in that puzzle are there to stay.
New journal. Hey, it added a journal entry. I should photograph more shit. Right, I'm gonna go check that out in just a moment. I just want to make sure there's nothing of value I can get from here before I inevitably put myself through another sequence. Loot this guy's house. He's obviously a frozen popsicle. A Canucksicle. Oh, I want to look at the phone. No dial tone. Okay. Oh yes, I have a water bottle. That'll come in handy, I'm sure. Doing everything I can to avoid whatever that's gonna be. Like, I'm just gonna go look over here now. Painkillers. Oh, that's not good. The unpacked boxes suggest they just moved here. Looks like they were repainting the whole house. Already got my water bottle filled. Is that plunger of value? No?
The pot was cold, and the stew inside wasn't cooked. It's likely that poor Giselle was slow cooking it before she got snapped. Not waste.
No, yeah, look.
The otherworldly ice had struck again. The woman's hopes and dreams were frozen in eternity.
Like her husband out in the woods. Oh, and I gotta go through a sequence again, okay. At least I have a fire.
Something was hidden under the stairs.
Oh, that's useful. Oh, something went up the stairs. Turn that frame. Bertrand Lachance, 1948.
The man grabbed his rifle. Carl felt a sense of dread in him.
Something's coming for them. Nothing useful here. Can't really see what I'm doing anyway. I can't bust out a flashlight in these sequences. They want me to follow the lights to the story. Yeah, I did that. Bertrand Lachance, 1948. Hopefully that's key to something.
Perhaps their spousal relationship had been cooling down lately.
Haha, because it's cold. Probably not what he meant.
It seemed like secrecy was commonplace in this house.
Oh, she's hiding shit too. A really good detective, huh? Huh? Giselle's diary.
And he was back to reality. A reality
Whoop, there goes
in which
gravity.
Giselle, Gilles' loving spouse, was motionless, frozen in ice.
Giselle's diary, page 1, September. Mother once told me when I first met Gilles that I hadn't picked the Giselle and Gilles. That's I guess Sounds like a couple's name. That I hadn't picked the brightest bulb of the lot, and as the years fly by, I'm seeing the truth of her words. Always trust your mom's wisdom. That blackmailing scheme is a prime example of Gilet's brightness. He's like a small dog. He thinks he's bigger than Le Petit Chien. He's bigger than he actually is. He thinks he's bigger than he actually is. He growls, genuinely thinking he's scary, but everyone knows he can be pushed aside with just a little kick. He truly believes he can blackmail Hamilton, the big boss himself. It's going to be a long time in hell before my poor Gilet can manage to pull off such a feat. After all, Hamilton's a rich, learned, and influential man. Not only is that blackmailing idea bad to begin with, let's be honest, Gilet is way out of his league, but Gilet doesn't even know how he actually is going to carry this out. I don't even think he ever would. He's just throwing random threats out loud in the kitchen. He says he'll do it eventually, but I know better. Successful blackmailing requires masterful cunning, and Gilet is master of nothing. He's a slave and forever will be. I often look at that safe he keeps hidden in the fake wall, in which he stores all these incriminating documents he intends to use, and I just can't come to grips with the sheer ridiculousness of the whole thing. 4 pages, holy shit, okay. It is true that Hamilton would still have to figure out the combination of the safe where everything is hidden. Only problem is, Gilet himself tends to forget the combination. He has a trick to help him remember. His father's first initials followed by 3 numbers I had to engrave behind his pendant. Ah, ha ha! So Bertrand, whatever, Lachance, BL, and then the numbers on that pendant I have, who could possibly have a hard time remembering 3 simple numbers, but my Gilet. October. Gilet has trouble sleeping. He will flail his arms and legs in his sleep, and I told him this blackmail business would be hard on him, but that's the problem with idiots. They always think they're the smartest person around, no matter how hard you try to shake them. Hamilton will find out, and then we're done for. We'll have to move to Val d'Or and live with the small fry. Weird. Direct translation. I'm shaking as I'm writing this. I cannot believe I have taken part in this tragedy. I haven't done anything. Why do I feel so guilty? Poor girl, she was so young. 1 more pages? Okay. You hit read when it says read on those things. It just takes the words away so you can actually read it in French. But, like I said, my French is lacking. I know some. Meat. I have a feeling survival is going to get for real soon. I'm more interested in what's freezing these people. This game is obviously going to get into some supernatural shit. Or I'm just losing my mind. I died in the wreck. That's what happened. That's my early prediction. I died in the car wreck and none of this is going on. Chez Lachance changes hands.
Along with several more
this guy's got to have his input on everything.
Had been acquired by wealthy industrialist William J. Hamilton.
Yes, yes.
Perhaps the
an American.
Christened Hamiltown.
Change to Hamiltown. That would be funny. Founded by Bertrand Lachance more than 20 years ago, the general store, better known as Chez Lachance, is one of Manistan's economic mainstays. Since the passing of its aged owner, however, business wasn't as blooming as it once was. Gilet Lachance, inheritor of the humble establishment, and had no choice but to sell everything to William Hamilton, the rich and famous businessman who sparked a major controversy last year when he announced the reopening and expansion of his copper mine. As of now, operations at the general store are expected to remain unchanged despite the change of hands. Gilet Lachance still helms the register. And here is the thing.
Ah, moving. What a pleasant activity. Of course, you'll find the record player only to find the records weeks later in some random box.
That is exactly how it goes. He ain't wrong. Alright, so let's see.
Carl had seen that kind of safe before.
Yep.
With its double-layered security system blending letters and numbers, its code couldn't be broken by the common burglar.
Bertrand. Oh. Oh, okay. Just a second, I need to see the numbers on the item I have in my inventory. No, it's probably documents. Yeah. Weird. It's not really a document. 739. BL 739. Okay. So B 7 3 9. Oh, his first initial. I said the first initials, as in more than one, both initials of his name. Come on, there we go. Compromising file or document. William Hamilton is a crook. He has been blackmailing everyone in the village, myself included, like the infamous Séraphin Poudrier. French, man, I tell you. And this document is proof of every bribe paid by Hamilton to the federal authorities in regard to the acquisition of this damn mine. The fact that he has used the henchmen to instill terror within the village will not sway the tribunals down in Montreal, but the fact that he has been bribing government officials surely will. I can already picture it making the front page. The English are all the same. We will prevail. Written with a different ink. Hamilton is not only a crook, but a murderer. I do not believe in his remorse. I firmly believe he will pay for his crime. I do not believe in native magic, but I do believe in their vengeance. Is that it? Is that everything? There's a picture there. I guess a picture... That does not look like Hamilton. That looks like a fucking, like, skeleton with no face. How thin it is. Alright, well, I got incriminating evidence, I guess, against the guy who's supposed to be paying me, who's dead now, so...
It felt like old people were all these walls could see for years. The Lachances could hardly be blamed for wanting to freshen things up a bit.
Click. Now I can see up here.
What a mess.
Sort
Clearly,
of.
there was some major
cold
revamping
up
work
here.
underway here. The place looked barely habitable.
Oh, what's this? 10 more Polaroid film. Thank you, because I was running out of pictures. I'm starting to have to be conservative.
Many boxes scattered about. Carl didn't need to summon his detective training to quickly figure that the Lachances had just moved in.
Duh.
A nice white coating would restore the room to its charm of olden days. Many boxes scattered about. Carl didn't need to summon his detective training to quickly figure that the Lachances had just moved in.
It looks like they didn't like the look of this place, obviously.
A nice white coating would
moving on. I wish I could skip this guy's conversation when I click something that already said box full of Harlequin novels or romance novels.
Beautiful portrait of Gilles and Giselle, bound together by the chains of conventional love.
Makes it sound so dire. Oh, now it's important. Okay. Hey, cigarettes. Sweet. I'm not sure what they're for in this game, but you do have them.
The cross looked after a marriage's well-being.
They slept up here?
And served as a motivator to
I guess it would be
uphold the
warm.
priest's sermons calling for more little worshippers on one hand, and cautioning against guilty pleasures on the other.
Huh.
Indeed, the Lachances were still part of the God-fearing generation.
Oompa-doompa-doomp. Turn all the lights off as I go. I've yet to find a clock that works. Every one of them is set to 3. It happened at 3.
That window had seemingly been left open for a while, Carl thought. Given the punishing weather, it couldn't have been intentional.
Yeah. Alright. Saved by the fire. Well, see you later. You can actually consume smokes.
Carl, like many of his contemporaries, felt like he had more trouble breathing when he wasn't smoking. Cigarette was his own personal breathing assistant.
He says it like it's a person. They said there was a cliff face where they lost property fell off by the mine. Is that it over there? Eastern Atamec. An eastern cavern. Oh yeah, it's caved in. I have to have dynamite to get in. Alright. And the landslide off the side of his building. You can see from the trees that are pulled here. His father picked a crappy piece of land. And there's more of this blue ice. Nothing? Okay. Did it actually drop it on the ground? No, it doesn't. Okay. Alright, back to the car. We have other people up and down this road, so I'm going to check the other two properties on the right-hand side of the road to see what they're about. Just leave my engine running. That's how you run out of gas, idiot. Should make a left out of here, and it should be the first one on my right and the one past that. If I could see anything in this whiteout. Oh, it was in the middle of that. Alright, well fuck it then. I'll take this one and then I'll take the next one on our way back. It was in between the arches. All these people on the street seem to owe him money. 1556, I believe, was one of the ones on our list. So any one of these people could have done this murder, although again, I'm rooting for supernatural. I'm a ghost. Everyone is dead. I mean, I'm dead, and everyone else is frozen because I'm dead. Or some crap like that. It's not a well thought out prediction, but nonetheless. They have a dog, or they should have a dog. I was trying to read the note, but alright.
It was a classic Canadian house.
Just bust
except
open the
for
door.
the absent horde of kids that would normally be swarming about.
Trying to say they got a lot of kids in Canada. Note from Jean Roy. We fled. It was getting too dangerous. More people live in North Manistan. It will be safer there. Jean Roy. Okay. All your powers work. None of the phones work. Figure that out quick. I didn't bring any starters. I wonder if there's any starters in here. Novel page, the fantasy, page 1. Part of another thing I collect. Entries just keep going. Matthew had yet to add murderer to his curriculum. He was fond of new experiences, especially the most thrilling ones, and taking the life of a flesh and bone individual who the night before was still able to think, dream, fantasize, calculate, read, held the promise of exhilarating sensations. Unlike Raskolnikov, the fuck's with these names, man? Raskolnikov, it wasn't about axing an old Jewish hag to pieces to test some lunatic theory. Not at all. Matthew just wanted to know how it felt. It seemed so simple, horribly simple. He didn't have any particular victim in mind like most people. His desires ran quite wildly, so he only had a vague idea of them in mind. He pondered using a rifle or a knife, assassinating a young girl or an old woman. He tried to focus on practicability. His victim would have to be defenseless. Bodybuilding wasn't exactly Matthew's strong suit. He would have to... Practicability? Anyway, stuck on that word back there. He would have to act spontaneously, but not too much. He wasn't that eager to learn what spending the rest of his life in prison would be like. Some experiences carry just too high a cost to be worth it, really. His fantasy? Ooh, let's see.
Just one more move and white is checkmated.
Yeah.
It seems the game was abandoned right before the final strike came down.
Who abandons a game of chess when you're about to win? Ugh. Thought that was Nuka-Cola for a second. I was like, yes. Kona Cola. You gotta have some Kindle in here. Oh, I gotta close those. Close enough. I can't get to that one. So stupid. Let me get... There we go. My head's in the way. Alright. Cookie jars are always too high to reach. I didn't even notice that cookie jar up there. There's matches. Nope. I said matches. No kindling. Apple Jacks. Apple Jacques. Le Pomme de Jacques.
Simone de Beauvoir, Claude Lévi-Strauss, Hannah Arendt, Roland Barthes. Carl was surprised by the literature filling this liberal-leaning bookcase. Could there really be intellectuals dwelling in this far-off land?
This narrator's got something against Canadians.
The photograph was snapped not too far from here, Carl noticed. The couple seemed to be very good friends.
How would you know it's not far from here?
The couple radiated something akin to lightheartedness, to freedom. Perhaps some people out there truly found a way to live happily ever after. A picture of Wilfred in his youth. Carl figured right away that the man must have been some kind of wildlife officer.
All I'm doing now is trying to clear as much of collectibles as I can. And maybe put some kind of connection to all of this. I don't even know if we're going to run into people in this. Doesn't seem so. Pure jasmine. Huh. Something over there. Oh, in this closet. Yeah. Duffel bag. Open it up. 303 ammo. Page 4. Oh, okay. We'll come back to that. Can't read them out of order. Page 3. I need page 2. This apartments or this house is freaking tiny. All these houses are tiny. Suppose you need them to be cozy. There's page 2. Alright, so the murder stuff. Page 2. It was around the time that Matthew met Beatrice, of mediocre beauty at best, the girl with her distinctive features, cheeks covered with large pock-like freckles, Jew nose, oily forehead, tired but vibrant eyes, shaded red hair, slender as a child body, chirpy laugh. You name it. It was the very image of innocence. That happened to be precisely the kind of victim Matthew was picturing in his mind, though. One night, as he was contemplating the ceiling from his bed, he swore to himself again and again, "I'll kill her." His dreams were later filled with the images of imminent crime. He had come up with a simple enough plan. One fine evening, he would visit her place to become familiar with the area's intricacies and feel closer to the impending murder, to slowly dig into Beatrice's thoughts, desires, dreams, and abilities. This way, he would be able to get a concrete sense of what his sinister deed would be, stripping away from the very fabric of life. Yeah. I read shit weird, sorry. The whole thing would have 2 days, a week at most. Wet my whistle. Alright. So then I have page 3 and 4. Oh, jeez, this is gonna get filled. What? 3. The first time he met Beatrice, however, she unexpectedly revealed her troubled origins to Matthew. She was adopted at the age of 4, and recalling her former life still gave her a hard time. She played the piano and in so graceful a manner that people often thought she may be the natural offspring of a musical virtuoso. She always cried before falling asleep, torn from the inside by a dreadful pain she couldn't explain. Rhymed just in time. She confided to him so profoundly that Matthew couldn't get enough, coming back every night to learn every single thing of what would come out of that delicate mouth after pulling one last breath out of it. This guy's sick. Every night he reflected on what the death of Beatrice would mean in terms of losses to humanity's common heritage, be it the sound of her sobbing or her piano melodies, the compulsive tapping of her long index finger on her temple when she harbored dark thoughts, or any other little thing. It didn't matter. Everything would be indiscriminately vanish. Everything. All these thoughts made for some blissful slumbers indeed. Then days became weeks, and before he knew it, it was, Matthew's turn to throw his secret at her, his hopes, his cries of despair, as if throwing coins in a wishing well and banging the mic. She'll be dead by the end of the month, he promised himself. And page 4, which we found. I don't know why I'm interested in this story, but I like reading the stuff in games.
A murderer's diary. Carl's detective training compelled him to write some excerpts down.
All 4 pages. I knew there was a reason.
Give life to such a bizarre tale.
It's my intuition. I can't do that meme. The two lovebirds were still going at it. Why did you give me a page roll? It's not anyway. We're still going at it 7 months later, though, of confiding fears and desires alike near the fireplace several days a week. The populace took notice, and wounded words eventually found their way to Matthew's ear, prompting him to take action to prove his gentlemanship. He had to ask Beatrice's hand in marriage. He would have more than enough time to kill her later. Today, when Matthew stares at the motionless ceiling, just like he did 20 years ago, he still wonders what he would be removing from the existence by slitting Beatrice's throat, what he would be depriving his children of. Then, as if soothed by his fantasy, he gently drifts off, smiling the night away. I think that was a typo. Drifts off, not drifts of. Maybe dreams of.
All manners of clothing were gone, as if the Rois drove out of town with their closet in tow.
Monopoly. Conopoly. Conopoly. You win if you pass go. See? That's more shit, man. I'm telling you. I didn't even get to the start of the game, and I had that car accident. I'm fucking dead. That's it. I'm dead. All these people are not here because they are here. And I just like they fucking left when I moved that chess piece. And they freaked them out. And they all ran. Ran for their ever-loving lives. That's what happened. Alright. Let's get back to the last property. There's still people that all owe him money, though. And move into town after that, because this place is huge. Turn, turn, turn. Snow tires, probably would have been a good idea if you were deciding to head north. Okay, next turn on the left. Then we'll have to go through the general store to get to the other side of that tree that's downed. Loading. The loading even causes delays in the recording. Bettered. I say Bettard's house. I'm gonna go check that out after I check the house out. Looks like this guy was a farmer. Huh.
What was even the point of locking your door? If everyone hid their key in the same place? Carl was starting to feel like his investigator life lacked challenge.
Another empty home. This one has diapers on the floor. Man, you couldn't clean your diapers up before you left, yo?
The house smelled like incense, the kind that reminds you of the good Lord, of peace.
There it is. Like, it's gotta be a light switch nearby. Enough food for rough times. See, again, why these people leave? They seem like they were pretty good to go. Why'd everybody exit the area? No loose change in the cracks. All the channels are static. I'm missing matches or kindling. I can't even tell. Looks like kindling this time. I was missing matches last time.
Religion was very influential throughout Quebec many years ago. Indeed, it was surprising that Carl did not come across a single chapel since arriving here.
They're heathens. More meat. Still haven't needed to survive like that, but that's alright. More matches. Another dead phone. Yep. More Polaroids. Attach wire. I need something for that. Wire, maybe? Huh. Thread? Does it mean thread? Just kindling. If he complains about the cold, then I can worry about that. So I'm fine right now. Alright, circled the room. Not gonna say anything about that? Oh, TV is on the other side. Well, maybe somebody doesn't like to rewatch television much.
Good Paul 6, appearing...
This is 1970, by the way, this game is set in.
His crooked fingers gave the impression he was about to bestow a miracle.
Some doors open in and some doors open out. Is there a light switch? I swear they need light switches in these hallways, man. Nope.
The perfect cookie-cutter Catholic family, most likely attending church every Sunday.
I got so much crap to read from the journal that keeps on entering. To take a look at it in a minute. Looking for some wire.
Who knew that giraffes thrived in the North Pole?
With top hats,
the
even.
craze for toys
and monocles.
was stupefying. Love of religion and ancestors was rooted deep inside the hearts of Canadians of old, to which the Bedards appeared to be closely related.
See? Diapers, man. Doesn't even look like the kind you can rewash.
The family's mother must have spent her days washing the filth off her kids' diapers.
Yeah.
The empty cradle sent an eerie feeling down Carl's spine.
That does.
As if minutes ago, someone just grabbed the baby and made a run for it.
Leaving the diapers hanging out and everything. For the world to see. Yeah, there's entirely too few fucking light switches in this place.
Carl wasn't desperate enough to invade a village woman's privacy.
What? Now we have scruples?
Carl wasn't desperate
Okay.
enough to
I'm gonna have to
invade
come
a
back to
village
this house to
woman's
get that
privacy.
watch. Driving like clear, oh there we go. Clear across the fucking world to find it. When I get like all the way into town and we're like, oh, you remember that lady? You remember the Beddards? I'm gonna have to go to their house and read that diary. Has all the information in it. Works of art from a future artist. That's actually pretty good depending on the age of the child. Sleep their kid on the floor. And a wood crate. 2 of them in the same room too. Tiny ass house. Dressed like their mom. Bingo. But I can't invade the child's diary.
Jean-Luc Bédard had without a doubt been the closest man in the village to William Hamilton,
I guess.
otherwise known as Uncle Willie.
August 16th, I have a diary just like Mom, and like her, though, I don't wear a long face when writing, but I do love to write my thoughts, and about Martin, most of all. I love talking about him. I think he loves me, too, just like in Romeo and Juliet. People don't like it when I see him, only because he's a Blaze? That'd be more Spanish. But just like in the story, nothing can stand in the way of true love. August 18. A lost appetite. I can't sleep anymore. Every waking hour, intense shivers run through my body. Dad's making me see Dr. Beaupre. Fucking French Canada, man. Dr. Beaupre, with his big hands touching me everywhere, his foul breath exhaling all over my face. Yuck. I'm not sick. I'm in love. I love Martin so much. There's nothing I like better than thinking about us playing together, like we always do. I wonder if he found the key I lost the other day. He was pretty sad when I did, because it's for his dad's garden shed, and Martin has always been afraid of him. I think Martin's dad is a bit like Dad's god. The key fell in a burrow next to the shed. Poor Martin. He cried like a baby, but I still love him. August 24th. Mom often cries when she feels lonely. I think there's no reason for her to cry. Mom can be stupid sometimes. Dad works a lot because of that wealthy Englishman buying everything. That's what notaries do. They make sure that people get what they're paying for, basically. It's complicated, but that's how Dad explained it to me. The rich guy doesn't look half as bad as Martin told me he was. When I saw him this morning at Dad's office, he told me, "Call me Uncle Willie." That's creepy. I found that pretty funny. Plus, he gave me candy. Okay. It was kind of old and dry, but still candy. I think Dad gets along well with Uncle Willie because when he's with him, he laughs the same way he does with Father Label. Fake. Alright. September 22nd, I had to gobble up Dr. Beaupre's horrible medicine because it isn't. If I hadn't, I wouldn't have made it to Christmas, or so he said. I haven't seen Martin in weeks, nor did I go to school for that matter. Dad has been praying beside my bed every morning for a while now, and at bedtime too. Today he went hunting with Uncle Willie, and he told me to ask God to bless him in my prayers. I think this has to do with the medicine that only the richest of rich can afford. Dad told me he'll be praying for Uncle Willie until the day he dies, and that I should do the same. God, Father Label, and now Uncle Willie. I wonder when Dad finds the time to pray for Santa Claus. It's cute. September 28th. How can Mom be so stupid? She's getting fat too. She cries like a newborn puppy all the time. It's so annoying. I came across Martin today. He seemed pretty thin and maybe kind of dirty. He doesn't look as neat and presentable as Uncle Willie, that's for sure. Interesting. Suppose I gotta turn the light on in here. No point now. Can I read Mom's diary now? Because it sounds like Mom's got some secrets that are needed.
Carl wasn't desperate to invade a village woman's privacy.
But the daughter's okay. Whatever. Those kids look like they were living in poverty. Hey, Etch-a-Sketch. Etch-a-Sketch, there we go. How do they draw the sun? Oh, yeah. It's not possible. It doesn't touch the edges. Game's broken. I quit. Alright. Let's go see if we can get into this shed back here. I don't know if it's this garden shed he's referring to. Or if he's referring to something at another house. I suppose Martin's house, which would be somewhere else. The last place we were at didn't have any children, so it wasn't there. There wasn't even a garden there anyway. It's got it lit like it's too dark for me to see. Like, I can see just fine. Supplies.
A true Catholic always strives to keep lowly temptations at bay.
Yep.
Obviously, Carl thought, someone in this house wasn't doing a good job at upholding the Holy Bible's teachings.
It's got a lot of beer bottles hidden back there. Looks like someone had to hide their habits. A hammer. Oh, I'm all tooled up now. Got pliers. What the hell is that? Why did it load? I don't want to go outside now. I don't know how creepy this game gets, but that was creepy to me. Loading is usually not a good sign after you do something like pick up an object. Okay. We gotta find Martin's property that they live on. We got a hammer now, though. Alright, so anyway, take a look at the map when we get in here and try to move up the road more. I gotta keep checking all the properties I have on here, because like I said, there's a bunch of people that want this guy dead. That's gonna help. Let's see, so I'm in this one. Go out left. It's a campground that I did go see when I was out there. I'm gonna take the left fork to check those homes out on the other side of this inlet. Looks like there's a doctor over that way, and there was stuff about medical information with one of the guys. I forget which one now. I have to pull my journal out here in a minute and actually go through that information. Oh shit, okay, going too fast. This reminds me of videos and stuff I've seen for different horror games out there for weather, or for driving, like Jalopy and things like that. Jalopy's not a horror game. Gotta load the journal store in. Don't run into the gas pumps. Yes, that's right there. What does that say? I can't even read it. Oh, jeez. Let's go out and around it. It's too tiny. Fuck me. I don't want to get out of the car to read this. Village Minier and Chemin de la... Oh, the entrance of the lake. I'm like, there's two words there, too small of a font for me to see. How many bridges must I cross before I get there? First property on the left, then right, then left, and then the end of the road. That does not look like a safe bridge. Hospital. Loading. This is so... I haven't seen the game. When was this game made? Like, loading sequences are something you would have seen like in the 90s. Not really something you see too often for this. I mean, I know it's supposed to be a big open world, but the whole point of a storm like this is usually to obfuscate the stuff in the distance so you can unload the things you don't want to see anymore to put in the stuff that they may be coming up to. I'm going on a road to 4 separate houses. The predictability of what I'm going to go to shouldn't be that hard for the game to follow. This is strange to me. Mail. Key. That's a stupid place to keep your fucking key. Got another key? No. Okay. I'll put it back. I have enough wood. And again, nobody's in any of these properties. Something on the door, though.
There should be a law forbidding doctors from falling sick.
Parti pour une urgence en vieux. Le docteur là-bas est... Oh, sorry. Malade. He's sick. Anyway. Medical emergency in town. The doctor there is sick. I'll be back. If he dies, I won't be returning. I'll have to replace him. Ah, okay. Ou jamais s'il meurt. Yeah, okay. Well, maybe that's why no one's around.
In spite of Dr. Beaupre's goodwill, the place didn't look much like a physician's office. It could easily be mistaken for a sewing shop.
I suppose. At least I have a warm spot here. Kindling. Isabelle Beaupre. His wife must be dead. When locking a door isn't enough. What does he mean? Oh, holy shit. Why is this door boarded up like this? I wonder if my hammer will let me... Ooh, or my pry bar. No, is it not for that? Is that not the purpose? This is not Half-Life. Try the hammer. Nope. These are weapons. Anyway.
For the one-eyed, or for other vision problems, the eye patch was the way to go.
Yes. There's another attach wire. I really gotta get some wires to figure these out. There's another sewing one at the other house. Well, I guess I will have to go back there eventually, won't I? Because I saw that at the Catholic's house. The Beddards.
Carl got the trembles as he imagined the excruciating pain that kind of scalpel could no doubt inflict.
It's for
Within
cutting.
these miserable walls, patients probably felt more like in a slaughterhouse than in a doctor's office.
A nightmare. What? Scale? I swear these places have problems with lighting. Doctor is apparently fascinated by history. The Earth doesn't look this big. It doesn't look this big from here. That's a weird statement. Store in a cool, dry place with a constant temperature, they said. Yeah. It's kind of a wet place, but that's alright. Medical kit. One medical thing in here. No wonder he decided this place like a sewing shop. Obviously his wife did other stuff. Guy. People all sleeping on the floor here too.
A chamber
pot? Yep.
Fortunately for Carl, inspecting it wouldn't further this particular investigation.
I don't want nothing to do with your chamber pot, bro. Documents. Communist Manifesto.
A Communist Manifesto. Only a few years ago, this type of allegiance meant prison time. And even at present, the Western world was very wary of the Soviet threat. Why would the doctor own such a book?
Because he's a communist. The history of all hitherto existing society is the history of class struggles. Freeman and slave, patrician and plebeian, lord and serf, guildmaster and journeyman. In a word, oppressor and oppressed. Stood in constant opposition to one another, carried on an uninterrupted, now hidden, now open fight, a fight that each time ended either in revolutionary reconstitution of society at large or in the common ruin of the contending class. In the earlier epochs of history, we find almost everywhere a complicated arrangement of society into various orders, a manifold gradation of social rank. In ancient Rome, we have patricians, knights, plebeians, slaves. In the Middle Ages, feudal lords, vassals, guild masters, journeymen, apprentice serfs. In almost all of these classes, again, subordinate gradations. Nothing else? It's not really a manifesto. It's like a communist sheet of paper. Freaking commie docs. That's why there's no medical supplies
Dr.
here.
Beaupre had done his medical studies quite far from here. He was surely one of the first students out of the new campus to settle on the mountainside.
Université Montreal.
Doctors used light-reflecting frontal mirrors to look inside the patient's cavities. That was a bit unsettling. But back then, it was pretty much always the case with medicine.
Oh, with your history lesson.
The good doctor, flanked by his beautiful spouse. Pure happiness, captured on cardstock. Carl recognized this woman's soulful eyes.
It's from the
Was
photo
it
in
Dr.
the
Beaupre who had hit him head on at the village.
Yeah. That was the photo that was
Nobody
in the car.
kills a rich patient to start a revolution. It didn't make any sense. He had to dig deeper still to understand. Luckily, that was Carl Faubert's specialty.
Alright, medical files. Unknown woman. Never did quite catch her name. The men called her Laura. She had a neck wound. There was so much blood. The bullet had done a lot of damage, probably hitting the cerebellum. It was hopeless. She had a cardiac arrest. The men had found her like this, they said. I doubt it. But in a small town like this, it's usually the best to turn a blind eye. I've been told to step back from the sending out the death certificate. This whole thing sickens me. I got more. Rosaire Armand. No medical explanation whatsoever can explain why old Rosaire is still alive. She, as we in the trade say, the only way to cure him is to kill him. Rosaire's a male? Sylvie Bedard. The mother. All of her symptoms point to the same root cause. She's pregnant. She refuses it. She denies it. I'm willing to bet her husband is not the father. Let's hope it's not Everett Lockhart, though, or she would have an illegitimate child and syphilis on her hands. Nice.
There was no doubt that the doctor and Hamilton knew each other very well.
William Joseph Hamilton, haughty, can't be cured. Because he's haughty. Anyway, chronic foot pain, can't walk long distances, rich, I'll cure him of that one day. That kind of sounds suspiciously like he intended to kill this guy. Oh, is that all of them? There's only 4 people that have ever come to this doctor? Only 4 people that matter, I suppose. Potatoes. Ah, communist. He's got potatoes. Let's see. I do want to know what's behind that door, though. Can I check all these already? Those, so I can get in. Toilet paper. If it's not double ply, then he's definitely a communist. Wonder if I can get to the other side of this from outside. Let's try to go around the outside of the building and see if we can see what's in that room. Oh, it's just the back door. Well, that's just strange. Please use the other door. S'il vous plaît. S'il vous plaît, utilisez l'autre porte. Port. I keep on mixing Spanish accents into letters that don't have accents in there. I'll make a little snow castle? What the hell is this? Strange. Oh, a lantern for myself. Huh. Sweet. This is pretty good evidence of wolves or bear. Yep, sure enough. There's been wolves up here. Should I take out my camera and see if I can photograph this again? I see more deer prints. Nothing suspicious. Throw it away. Alright, back to the car. On to the rest of the people in this, on this, inlet.
Carl felt like he knew the doctor now. His belongings had spoken lengths about him. But what Carl had heard worried him.
I guess. I parked in the middle of the mound. I wasn't even paying attention to the way it turns around. Alright, this was to the left, so I'm going to make a left out of here. Yeah, this would have been a lot easier if I'd done it right. And we'll take the first one on the right. Ah, jeez. Tight turns. Okay, let's go. I didn't pass it. No, okay, good. There it is. Loading. Before I go in here, I'm gonna pull up my journal and see what kind of shit this guy's talking about, because I can get to his mindset and get a better idea as to what's going on in here. Oh, this might be Martin's place. Rosaire's house. Can I... No, I can't. Okay. Step out, go get some warmth and check my journal. I don't want to freeze to death out here reading it. Check that hut. Looks like he's got a lake, what you call it? A dock or a boathouse. This guy just leaves. Oh shit. Fuck me, that scared the shit out of me. What you doing here, stranger? I just want to... Okay, just saved. I just want to talk. Please don't shoot me. We're expecting a stranger to show up here. Let me tell you, I ain't... Oh shit, talking to myself. Since this thing's been creeping around, I've got... Holy, so fast! Bang, 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 get close. Ha ha ha. Gotta read a whole lot faster. Okay, I don't speak your language, apparently. At least it's warm in here. Can I just, like, look at all your shit while you're here? Turn the lights on? I really feel like this is a bad idea. I do have something better to do. Open my shed, take it, I don't care. Waste your time looking at my trash as long as you bring some caribou. He's like fucking Englishman. I didn't expect to see people, to be honest with you. So good. Things are much better when they're old. Just go through all this stuff. This feels really weird because he's here. I'm just gonna take this empty bottle, sir. Oh, can I talk to him? Thank you. If you need warm clothes, city boy, I wouldn't say no to a bottle of caribou. Then you can pick whatever rag suit you want. Okay. Trade caribou for a coat. Caribou is like a liquor? Did I see that at the general store? Practically walking around in your underwear, kid. Where's my caribou? You, me caribou. I'm just gonna keep going through your shit, though. I could give him an accent. The husband's squick. One after another, no pity for marriage, that one. Okay. Apparently he's only good for clothes and doesn't have any fucking lights in his house. Yes, you do. A crazy guy over here. The sweet rose la tulip. Ash Wednesday, terribly right. Something about on Ash. Handing herself over to the devil on Ash Wednesday. I'm just gonna take your book, sir. Can you see the book over there? There's Wendigo. That's the Wendigo. Yeah, Wendigo. A warrior who turns into a wolf out of vengeance when they've been wronged, hey? Tales and Legends, page 1. There was a time when hate waged war. Our hunters could decimate the great wolves who had taken our children. Our warriors could snap the neck of the cowards who had reached for our supplies. The deafening sound of rock and bone breaking was enough to satiate the hate, and the rivers of blood would express our remorse and apologies. Thus was balance maintained. I do. I'm reading your book. Just leave me alone. Then came the whites. The legend of the Wendigo dates back to a time before what anyone but the tallest trees can remember, a time of great cold and great aspirations. When the ships came and spewed men and their fire cannons, plagues and spinelessness, balance broke forever. The dead were piling up on the ancestral lands. Too many bodies covered in moss, too much blood. He's making fun of the fact that I'm in a walking simulator at this point. Balance broke forever. The dead were piling up on the ancestral lands. Too many bodies covered in moss. Too much blood spilled on our stone. Our bone-breaking hate did not suffice any longer. One day, a young warrior who had lost everything, nieces, brothers, parents, and hope, fell to his knees in the middle of a small clearing, covering the blood of his fiancée, killed after having crossed the path of some whites passing by. They were all written by the Native Americans in the area. He had, or the Cree, he had seen everything and called out to the Great Spirit, called out to him with words that came so naturally to him. Words that would, words that could only create a great river of blood and guts, a terrifying roar of screams. He called out to him for a force that no one had had before. He became Wendigo. The whites were decimated under the icy claws of the Wendigo. The great tide of blood even pushed a few ships back out to sea, but the Wendigo was not yet done with his vengeance, for as long as the heart of one of his fiancée's murderers still beat on Cree territory, he would prevail. The elders say that it was the force of the ancestors' return to nature that turned the young warrior. In this clearing, where many ancestors... lost a bit of bit rate on there. I'm starting to reading so much. In this clearing where the many ancestors have been buried in centuries past, a clearing now covered in blood spilled unjustly in a time where too many bodies were being buried, the ancestors heard the cries of a young warrior. Only in a remarkable time like this could the Wendigo have been born. His vengeance satiated, the warrior became Wendigo, went to rest forever. His frozen heart melted and disappeared, much like the real snow come the spring. The storm that had befallen the Cree lands faded as well. There was much celebration. Balance had been restored, but the whites came back too. White hatred is never satisfied by rock and bone turned to dust. They arrived by the hundreds, armed with guns and torches, burned down every village, raped every woman, smashed the head of every newborn, tortured every man that fell into their grips. Never before had unbalance been so deep for the Cree people, and ever since it has been told that one should be satisfied with the rivers of blood brought by hatred despite the wrongfulness done to them, because remarkable hate comes at far too steep a price. The Wendigo was never invoked again, but the hearts of the Cree people remained a fear that one day a young warrior would once again call out with remarkable hate, because they know through the wisdom brought by this legend that the Wendigo would prevail, but that this victory would come at a great cost. The whites would come back. The whites would rule. None would be spared. Yeah. Who wrote this? Legends of the Cree. 1917. What a smoke fest. That Kaiser still remembers me. And my shotgun. Bang, bang. I told them. Bang, bang, bang. The good old days. World War I. World War II. Should I say? Be in 1970. Oh, hey. My hat for the good old days, my belt where I put my flask. It's a belt. Things are much better when I'll read the rest of that. Things are much better when we all wore the same thing. Oh yeah, old school Canadian outfit. Alright man, if I find caribou, I'm assuming that's some kind of liquor. Hopefully he has some. when I go searching his shed back there. Okay. Nothing. Trash can. There we go. I know it wasn't fruitless. I've been checking all the trash cans because the first few that you got actually cause you find things in them. Sweet. A broken window. Hardware. Bullets. Give me the bullets. More 303 ammo. Jerry can. That's it. Still don't have thread or wire. Oh, hey. Okay. I saw that a saw that is long enough to take down the biggest tree up north. Yep. That's how they go. I seriously hope Wendigo aren't in this, man. Well, just let it be legend. Don't make it a thing. I'll check his boathouse real quick. I'll have to remember to keep my eyes open for caribou liquor, I guess. Oh, that's a beautiful overlook of the lake if it wasn't fucking snowing so crazily. I bet this would be a beautiful overlook. Alright, next house is on the left. Hey, what's Kisplaz? How you doing? What's up? Oop. Bring, bring, bring. I gotta turn the bell off for that. My network decided to lag out, and it's jumping back and forth from being good and bad, and I don't know why. I'm not sure if my nephew's downloading or doing something else on the internet. Or if it's just decided to get slow for no reason.
Also needed nourishment, especially in the dead of winter.
Oh, I need to eat something? I still haven't looked at my journal. Fuck me. Wait. That was on the right. I need to turn around. I'm going the wrong way. $17-point turn. There we go. Yeah. The next place is on the left. And then at the end of the road. I didn't want to read my journal with that guy there because the shed was too cold. All of that would have been too much to try to do. Whoa. I get an F? Oh shit. I got another one of these things here. Please do not lose my car in this storm for this. I know, right? It's just up and down. I'm gonna double check. I'll be right back though. I'm gonna check to make sure that there's nothing crazy going on. Give me a moment here. And mixture counter. Yeah, it's up and down. Like I get it really strong and then I get it really weak. It's still showing red on my end. Oh, there it goes. Okay. There we go. Better. Alright, so anyway, we got this picture. And it's showing this direction. I really shouldn't be going off this way. Loading. Loading the area. There's a trail this way. Alright. I should probably take their advice and consume some food and water. Or beer. What happened to the meat? Oh, I gotta cook that, don't I? Well, shoot. Alright. Here they go, some more wolf tracks. Oh, that line is pointing where I'm going. Okay. This is probably a bad idea, but there's a cave up here. The Icy Cavern. Oh, fuck me. Okay. I only have like 3 bullets in this thing. Not my journal. Don't need that right now. Every time I photograph these, I find information or footprints. Deer track or caribou tracks, I'm assuming.
The cold seemed to be more brutal here than anywhere else.
Okay.
It seeped into bones and into every breath to get to the heart until it stopped.
Alright, I'll go back.
Needed to be dressed in warm clothes to survive.
I gotta find my way back to the road now. And quick.
The cold was burning Carl. He would not hold up much longer. He had to warm himself.
I'm trying. I got distracted. I didn't think about the weather. I don't think it's gonna be warmer in here. Oh, a little bit. Okay, good. We'll head up to this guy's property. Broop, broop. There we go. Whichever property this is, I check each of these places. Oh, shit. Alright, the House of the Patriot. I need to get inside. I'm bringing the car all the way around so I can get to the back real quick and make sure I have everything I need to light. Nope, that's not it. Consumables. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. There we go. I've got fire starters, I've got matches, I don't have wood. There should be wood in front of the home. Or nearby the home. Or in my freaking thing. Withdraw. One is enough. Please, dear
The place
God.
looked more like a pigsty than a house.
Nobody's
a heavy
here.
stench of curdled milk, cheap alcohol, and boiled cauliflower filled the air.
Dude, does he not have a fuck? Oh, thank goodness. I'm like, does he not have a furnace? Okay. I'll freeze to death out here. Yeah, it's fluctuating up and down. It leaves me to believe that and you might have to take a break. This is part of the reason I do 2-hour ones. Alright.
Rock music invaded the minds of men even in the remotest of places.
Led
The
Zeppelin.
man didn't own a turntable, though, so there's that going for him.
You can take the one from LaChance's house. Well, LaChance didn't have records. That's a snow overlap. I'm gonna go. Ooh, shit, what's this?
Back
Oh, it's
then,
fist.
in Africa and elsewhere, people were ready to take up arms to stand against the
Arms?
yoke of English imperialism. In Montreal, mailboxes were blown up, abductions were carried out, and violent manifestos were distributed to media outlets. But around here, in the great northernmost, all a man could do is curse out loud against a faraway evil and pray for the revolution to arise. That man, by any reckoning, was from that very stock.
Quebec's liberation will happen by force or not at all. We will prevail. Yeah, I'm jumping up and down in my feed. Which is going to lose a lot of the stuff, unfortunately. I think that I've made a decent amount of distance in this. And I may end up having to take a break and possibly come back to this a little bit later today when I figure out why my network is trying to be laggy. It's so much more, and this is going to get even worse when I have to start walking those trails up in there. I bet you, I can almost guarantee the road is out that goes all the way up to the northern house, and that's probably where this whole thing has to go when I'm going to have to survive in these woods. I bet that's what's going to happen. But I did mark a cave on my map I don't recall seeing before. So I got that house, and I still have the house at the end of this road to check. But either way, since I'm getting a horrible connection on here, I'm going to have to go ahead and let this one go, take a break, and like I said, come back in an hour or two, or maybe tomorrow. It depends on how things go. I've got time for it, so... Either way, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you have, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, hit those bells, and all that other good stuff in whichever format of this channel that you're watching. And I'll see you guys in the next episode, where we'll continue this mystery, see what's going on in this, whether this is actual Wendigo, if it's a survival game,